Hello and welcome back to Sunrider Liberation Day Return. Shields ran into the closed maintenance tunnel and headed back to Dick 2. Backup comms, one of the few systems which keeps operating under battery power when the ship loses power like this. Basically, when the ship's disabled, we need to be able to breathe and call for help. That's why life support and the FTL comm keep working. It's a lot more limited than the regular ones though. We can only transmit a text message of less than 120 characters in length, and the message can only be broadcast on the Intergalactic Distress and Rescue channel. Now the problem is that the batteries are still nowhere powerful enough to power life support through the entire ship. The air's going to get really thin on Deck 2, real fast. All the lifts and trams are offline as well, so I'll be crawling through about 300 meters of maintenance tunnels. After roughly half an hour of climbing down ladders and crawling through maintenance shafts hardly wider than sewage pipes, Shields could begin to see his breath turn to frost vapours. The air was no longer rich with oxygen, making the trek all the more arduous. The outermost sections of the ship were quickly dissipating heat into space, and life support was slowly losing the battle to keep the extremities of the ship fit for human life. The walls were now frozen solid with a thin layer of ice, while small icicles hung from pipes running along the wall of the tunnel. Shields' head spun thanks to the lack of oxygen, which only made the numbness in his fingers and toes worse. Shit! Completely forgot how much I hated the cold. I remember I used to complain to Ava every day during the winter about our school uniforms. And the military uniforms we have now are of course made from thermoweave and can retain body heat much better than wool, but I'd need something closer to a plug suit to keep myself protected against the elements like this. Finally, Shields arrived at a tiny alcove in the tunnel, and with trembling hands he removed the wall panel, exposing the controls of the FTL comm. Icicles hung from the comms cables while a thin layer of frost caked the steel casing. God damn it, this thing had better still be working. He pressed the activation button, but the comm showed no signs of life. Shit! What the hell's wrong with this thing? He tried to troubleshoot the problem, making sure all the cables were connected, and finally he came upon a single unplugged cable dangling at the bottom of the case. Unfortunately, the cable slot was now obstructed by a solid block of ice, making it impossible to plug back in. He tried to force the cable steel rod into the receptor, but the hole was completely filled with ice. Frustration bubbled inside him. Who would drop the ball and left this cable unplugged? A member of the maintenance crew? A malfunctioning repair drone? His head spun thanks to oxygen deprivation, making it impossible to think logically. No, I have to remain focused. Put plug into receptor. That's what you're here to do. Someone accidentally left the cable unplugged. I won't be able to turn the comm on without it. The receptor's now frozen solid. Shit. Shields racked his brain for a way to thaw the ice inside the receptor. The plug was hardly larger than a pen. It wouldn't take much heat to melt the ice inside, but without the proper tools, he wasn't thinking properly. He should have come prepared with a blowtorch or something. Hindsight is always 20/20. There's only one option. I'm going to cross the charges on the battery. That'll make the power cables overheat and melt the ice away. Thanks to the oxygen deprivation and his grim realization they would not last much longer than in the cold, Shields immediately unplugged the two power cables and crossed the charges without a second thought. As expected, the power connections from the batteries to the comm unit began to emit smoke. The smell of acid burned Shields' nose as the power cables became extremely hot, and suddenly sparks flew from the comm box as a conduit burst. Shields uncrossed the charges in panic. On the bright side, the ice was now melted from the receptor, as if it didn't just blow up the comm. He grabbed the cable and successfully plugged it in. Did it work? Or did I just melt the only comm we could use to warn Fontana's fleet? He took a deep breath and turned the comm on, and breathed out in relief when it amazingly activated. We're in business! Damn, can't believe I actually did a thing like that. If Ava was here, she'd probably murder me. But it looks like my luck's still holding. Fontana, you better read this message and everything we went through to send it. Shields used the comm's keypad to type out the warning to Fontana and relayed it. Now, all we can do is pray someone on board Fontana's ship is watching the distress channel. Takes the message seriously enough to relay it to Fontana. Shields reattached the wall panel, once again closing the comm. Shields made his agonizingly slow return to the center of the ship. His extremities were now completely numb, and his consciousness faded in and out because of the thin air. The return trip proved far more difficult than his first expedition, and worse since he was still heading to Deck 1, now had to climb up frozen ladders instead of down them. Shields carried on by himself, his ragged breaths freezing into vapor clouds in front of him. His knees and hands burned from hours of crawling through the Sunrider's frozen maintenance tunnels. He knew he had to head deeper into the ship, quickly, before his body gave out on him. If he fell unconscious here, he would freeze to death before anyone could find him. Come on. I can't give up. Not when I've finally managed to send the message to Fontana. He came upon a ladder roughly 15 meters high, and with a deep breath he clambered up, desperate not to lose any more time. His throat burned with each step upwards, his fingers were trembling. His feet unexpectedly gave out halfway up the ladder, making him tumble down and bang his knee on the ladder step. Ah! Agony shot up his thighs. He begged his arms to hang onto the ladder, but his fingers were frozen solid. The corners of his vision blacked out as his lungs screamed for more oxygen, and the pain finally proved too much to bear and his foot slipped off the frozen step. Shields flailed as he fell down the rest of the ladder, until he hit the ground flat on his back. Ah! He felt as if he had been impaled on a spike. With a gasp he expulsed a final pitiful breath of air, before darkness descended upon him. He woke up, enveloped in warmth. Huh? What's going on? Last thing I remember is falling off the ladder. Am I dead? One look around revealed that he was still in the Sunrider's maintenance tunnels, so he was most certainly not dead. He groped around his surroundings and grabbed a large, squishy mass floating over his head. What the... Ah! Ow! Shields pulled himself up, only to receive a faceful of Claude's massive mammies. She seemed completely unfussed by this accidental feel, however. Ah, Captain, you're finally awake. Claude was worried you were about to hit another bad end. Claude, how'd you get here? Shields realised he already knew the answer to that question, and decided to replace it with a more helpful one. I mean, why'd you come here? Oh, isn't it obvious? To rescue my poor darling, of course. I can't have you die in such an anticlimactic fashion. And it was my lucky chance to nurse you back to health, using nothing more than my body warmth. Shields shuddered and checked himself to make sure everything was still as he had left it. Claude's here to help, even though the captain thinks I'm nothing but a nuisance. Look here, Claude. You vanished on me at a pretty important moment. Just what were you doing, disappearing and reappearing on a whim like that? Can't you at least be a little more helpful? Well... It'd actually be for the best if I kept my power usage to a minimum. As I said, the law of causality's quite forceful, man. When it comes to treating naughty time paradoxes like myself. If I become too noticeable... Yeah, I'm afraid the law will grab poor Claude by the hair and push her down and pound her until she... vanishes off the face of the universe. Usually things are alright as long as I don't touch the time machine, but the more I flick my secret time button... Well, you get my drift, Captain. Shields rubbed his face in frustration. That seemed like a common occurrence whenever he was speaking with Claude. Before he could get off her lap, she wrapped her arms around his face. Your body was almost frozen solid when I found you. Claude had to strip off everything and envelop you with my love to restore your HP. It was a long process, but gradually your HP bar began to fill back up with blood. Until it stood on end, about to burst from all the love that this maiden was giving to restore her beloved back to health. It was at this point that this maiden was confronted with a true dilemma. Do I let the HP gauge burst and start over from zero, or do I keep it at maximum strength? It was truly a nightmarish choice. Alright, alright. Shields shuddered at what may have happened while he was unconscious. For better or worse, his body felt restored to health at least. Whatever Claude had done to him, he felt light as a feather, as if he had just woken from a refreshing sleep. Thanks for saving me then. Oh, this is quite rare. The captain actually thanking old Claude. He sighed. Look, I would have died out here if you hadn't come, so I guess I at least owe you my thanks. I could think of a whole lot of other ways you could repay this debt. How about a quickie, right here? Any trace of gratitude vaporized from Shields' mind at Claude's outrageous suggestion. Honest? I'd do it. I'm not kidding, I actually like Claude in a... You know, she's perverted as hell, but you know what, I genuinely do like her. Yeah, like we could do it in the middle of a frozen maintenance shaft, you dork. For a chance with you, Captain, Claude will move mountains and create new stars. Ugh, I was the fool. Like anything would come out of being grateful to you. Let's just get a move on. I don't appreciate the sudden sundry act, Captain. The ship already has plenty of those. Do I look like a Kari to you? Ah, lame. Looks like you've just lost your chance at holding these godly boobs in your palms, Captain. Claude winked as she jiggled her chest. Shields finally managed to peel Claude off him and sit back up. Are you planning on sticking around this time? Of course, Captain. Unless another sticky situation happens where I might be forced to use my powers, of course. Right. I'll try to stay out of trouble then. How long was I out? About an hour. We'd better move. We've wasted too much time here. The ship's still without power. We need to head to engineering and figure out a way to turn the reactor back on. Understood, Captain. Now, shall Claude go up the ladder first? No. I'll take point. Follow me. Oh, and I took the effort extras to wear my special panties for you today. You see, this is exactly what I was afraid of. Now's not the time to fool around, Claude. Let's move. Yeah, I genuinely do like Claude. I don't know if she's serious long-term relationship material, but, you know. Let's face it, you know. There is absolutely nothing wrong with casual sex between consenting adults. And let's face it, Claude is probably the most consenting adult you're ever going to find. After what seemed like an eternity, the pair finally returned to the ship's core. They sighed in relief as air once again became thick with oxygen and the frost on the tunnels gradually disappeared. Alright, now we got the message sent, we still need to restore the ship's power. The only way to do that is to head to engineering, figure out what Chigaro's done to the main reactor. Looks like there's no way around revealing ourselves to the crew for this. I guess to be on the safe side, I should stay hidden in the tunnel. Wouldn't want to risk the crew realising that the Doctor is at 2 places at once. I'll keep watch and warn you if the other Kato Shields turns up. Okay, I'll go down there and see. Before Shields could finish, the ship shook as a massive explosion bent the hull. Ah! Damn! What was that? Oh! The ship's under attack! Shit! This didn't happen in my timeline. We've already altered the course of history by revealing ourselves to the prototype leader before the final battle. Is she going to use this opportunity to kill us all here? Come on, let's find out what's going on. Shield opened the tunnel's gate and entered engineering. Crewmen scrambled as the ship shook. Pipes burst throughout the room, spewing clouds of vapour. And without any power, the ship was both toothless and blind. Shit! Should have seen this coming. Of course the prototypes would exploit an opportunity like this to sink the ship. Shields ran to the reactor's controls and found Ikari furiously pounding away on the console. Ikari, what's the situation? There you are. Did you manage to send the message? Yeah. How are things on this end? I've been trying to hack through the logic bomb Chigara set us up for the last few hours. Luckily, I think I found a weakness. The ship took another hit, knocking the two of them off their feet. Damn it! Shields screamed to a crewman. What's the situation? Sir! Crow's Nest reports the Pack fleet is advanced in our position. The Combined fleet is trying to hold Pack back, but they're getting decimated by some new enemy rider. It's unlike anything we've ever seen before. A new enemy rider. Oh shit, that can only mean... Shields still vividly remembered the terrifying power of the Nightmare Ascendant. Only with the Combined fleet, Fontana's ships, and the Sunrider at full capacity acting together could they actually manage to take it down in his timeline. But now he had no idea whether Fontana's ships were even operational, while his own vessel was completely shut down. In other words, unless he found a way to restore power, they were going to be dead in moments. Cap, as I was saying, there's a way to turn the reactor back on, but, well, the problem is you're going to have to go inside the reactor first. Oh boy, I am already not liking the sound of this. Look, I don't know how, but whoever shut the ship down managed to get his hands on Chigaro's command ID. The only two people who have higher access clearances are you and the commander. I managed to rewire the engineering-based grid to permit an override. The only problem is, the hack requires you to swipe your command ID on the reactor's internal control relay. What the hell is that inside the reactor? The console's just supposed to be used for maintenance tasks when the reactor's been shut off, but basically that's the only console in engineering the perpetrator of this attack didn't have access to. Thanks to that, I was able to open up a back door and regain control of the other reactor systems through it. Don't worry, you'll have 20 seconds after you swipe your command ID on the slot before the reactor turns back on. Just climb back up when it's done. You've got to be kidding me! However, when the Sunrider took another massive hit, causing a beam to drop down from the ceiling and smash a row of consoles, Shields realised he didn't have any time to complain. God damn it! He gritted his teeth and pulled himself over to the other side of the railing, which blocked off the reactor shaft. In reality, the steel column in front of him was merely the tip of the reactor. Below him, a massive chasm actually housed the majority of the Sunrider's fusion reactor, which was shaped like an enormous sprouting onion. He jumped off the ledge onto a ladder leading down to the reactor's bulb-like bottom. Just as he grabbed onto the ladder, the ship took another hit. Oh shit! Oh shit! He lost his footing and hung onto the ladder for dear life as his legs flailed below him. Ah! He managed to regain his balance amidst his curses. Worst day ever! He climbed down and spun a steel wheel which opened the reactor's gates. However, the next thing he saw when he entered the reactor made his jaws drop. An enormous cavern of steel surrounded on all sides by enormous spires. Where the hell is the console? He scanned the spherical dome for anything resembling a workstation to no avail. And finally, he gave up and poked his head back outside. Ikari! Where the hell is the console? Ikari looked down and hollered back. Huh? It should be right there. It's a steel jungle in here. I don't know what's what. Ah, for the love of... Aren't you supposed to be the ship's captain? Captain, not engineer! Akari nearly fell down the chasm herself when another enormous explosion shook the ship. Shields heard screaming and the crashing of steel above him. What just happened? Nothing. Half of engineering just collapsed, that's all. Look for 2 red stripes. The console will be between them. 2 red stripes, got it. Shields re-entered the reactor core and desperately looked around for the red stripes. Red stripes, red stripes. There it is, I see it. He ran across the core as the entire ship rattled, and Shields swiped the command ID located on the ID cuff of his wrist against the console's reader. The console screen came to life and displayed various glyphs beyond Shields' comprehension. However, he understood clearly what the countdown timer from 20 meant. I think that means I have to haul ass out of here! The reactor began to hum back to life, and sparks began to fly from the top of the spires as Shields sprinted across the core. Ah! Suddenly, the entire spherical interior began to revolve around the middle circlet, where the exit was bored through. What in the... Shields' sprint suddenly became futile as the entire room began to revolve in the opposite direction of which he was running. Ah, wrong way! Shields turned around and ran in the other direction, and the gate fast approached him as the revolving floor added to his speed. He had to jump at exactly the right time and grab the exit passage. Ah! He jumped and grabbed onto the ledge of the gate as the entirety of the reactor core revolved around him. The sparks of energy at the tip of the spires began to glow brighter and brighter, and with the last of his strength he heaved himself through the gate and clambered onto the ladder, shutting the gate behind him and spinning the wheel as quickly as he could muster. Just as the gate locked, the ship hummed back to life. Power's back! He heard the satisfying thumping of the Sunrider's AA guns as they woke from their slumber. Grinning with triumph, Shields climbed the ladder and grabbed onto Akari's hand. Ha! You did it! Overcome with joy, Akari and Shields embraced. Shields suddenly realised what he was doing and pulled himself off the mercenary. Oh, yeah. Good job with the fix, Akari. You too, Captain. What? No, it's not like I hugged you because I like you or anything. I was just relieved, that's all. The celebration was abruptly cut short, and a squad of Marines suddenly burst into engineering. What the... To their dismay, a wall of rifles formed in front of the group. Freeze! Shit, I was afraid of this. Shields looked around desperately for an escape route, and incidentally he realised that Claude had once again vanished to thin air. Not that our vanishing act even came as a surprise anymore. Just then, Chikara appeared beside the other shields. Ah, great. That's the reason why my other self thinks I'm the one who sabotaged the reactor. That's the one, Captain. He's a prototype, there's no doubt about it. He kidnapped me, forced me to shut the ship's reactors down. It was all a plot to render us defenseless so Pac could launch this surprise attack. You see, there's no reason for you guys to get caught up in this too. Just let security take the imposter. In fact, you all need to sortie now to defend the ship. Ah! Come on, myself, don't just lap up Chigara's words so easily without a second thought. While the other shield's attention was diverted, Chigara's body sneered at him. Haha. Chigara's still under the prototype's control. Shit! Everything's still going according to their plan. The Marines approached, rifles drawn. Do I make a break for it while I still can? Shit! If we hide inside the ship, it's only a matter of time until the other shields captures me again. Now with it be bungled our first kidnapping attempt, there's no way I'm going to be able to capture Chigara again before she sorties for the final battle. I could try escaping the ship with Kakari on her rider, hatch a new plan to incapacitate Chigara after the battle, but before the massacre... Just then, a familiar face appeared. Captain, the Nightmare Ascendant is coming back for another pass. And I've got even worse news. What could possibly be worse than this? Venusaur Fontana has contacted us. He's discovered a Trojan virus embedded in his ship's systems. If he enters the battle now, the prototypes will assume control of his fleet using their quantum brainwaves at the decisive moment of our battle. His best minds are working to remove the virus, but he cannot be sure that his ships will be ready in time, meaning we must assume that the Allied Pact fleet will be unable to assist us in the coming battle. Ugh. Well, looks like my message got through at least. The message still came too late for Fontana to devise a countermeasure. What are our options? Captain, I believe I know a way to defeat the virus. I can use the Liberty's comm dishes to directly enter the prototype's mind stream while they're emitting their brainwaves. I'll cause so much interference in their thoughts they'll be unable to control the Allied ships. Can you really do that, Chigara? Yes, you have to trust me, Captain. Captain, proceeding with this plan with full knowledge that the Allied Pact ships have been sabotaged places the combined fleet in grave danger. If our chief engineer is unable to disrupt the prototype's brainwaves, then our total destruction is all but guaranteed. No, Chigara can do it. We'll just have to trust her. Ah, you fucking... Ugh. Despite every damn thing I've done to change the past, my other self still decides to go down the exact same path as before. Frustration bubbled in Shield's veins. Shields, you're making a mistake. It's Chigara who's the prototype. She's been controlled as we speak right now. She enters the mind stream, everything you've worked for will be destroyed. Shields glared down. Shields. That's enough of your lies, prototype. You guys have been trying to tear the ship apart from the moment Lynn set foot in our brig. But your lies have no power here. We're one family on board this ship. We're not going to begin to question each other. The ties that bind us. Something you prototypes will never understand. Nice speech, Captain, but you're the one completely blind to the truth. The Marines trained their rifles on Shields as he stared at his other self with anguish. Yes. Only he could understand what his other self was feeling at the moment. The sorrow. The emptiness. This man had lost his entire family and hedged all his bets with this new one. And the bet was about to burn everything else he had left to ash. Shit. We've managed to restore power. Send Fontana the warning, but as long as Chigara remains at large, the massacre's still going to happen anyway. Did Ikari already figure out a way to stop Chigara? Looks like I'll have to trust her for now. Oh! You're telling me that this Kato Shields was imposter? He just helped me restore power to the ship. In fact, if it weren't for him, we'd all be dead by now. None of this adds up, Captain. He did what? You heard her. I just saved this entire ship. But you're not out of the woods yet, and I can still help you. I think he's telling the truth. We should trust him. For now. Captain, perhaps the imposter ceased to be an enemy turncoat by working for us. If we turn him into a double agent, we could gain a tactical advantage in the battle. Yeah, but if a spy turns traitor once, there's nothing to say he won't turn traitor again. Just then, the ship shook as it took a hit. Did you hear that? It's the Nightmare Ascendant. You are not going to last long against it. I know its systems and its capabilities. You need my help. Captain, we're out of time. We must return to the bridge. Alright, looks like we don't have a choice. Very well, prototype. Let's see if you have anything insightful to offer. But if you try to pull anything, my Marines will gun you down on the spot. Alright. Take him in, boys. And with that, the Marines rushed forward and handcuffed Shields. Ikari leaned in and whispered to him. Good luck. I'm taking off in the Phoenix and finishing this. Good luck. The Marines marched Shields to the bridge at gunpoint. Never thought I'd become a captain on my own bridge. He could tell the battle situation was already tense. Thanks to the Sunrider losing power, the chronology of events he was familiar with had been forever altered. Instead of the Sunrider re-entering the battle after finishing its resupply operation, the Loyalist Pack fleet had advanced and launched an offensive while the ship was powered down. In other words, the timing of events had moved forward. By now, most of the Sunrider's riders had already sorted. Within moments, Chigara would likely enter the mine stream to restore Fontana's control over the Allied Pack fleet. This is the pivotal moment. I have to end this now. I won't get another shot of this. He heard Kriska's voice crackle through the comm. Sunrider! Nightmare Ascendant's coming around for another pass. We've been hitting it with everything we've got, but our weapons are ineffective. Prototype, what do you know about the Nightmare Ascendant? It's an ancient Ruvian rider used by the Shah Mirin, who vanished millennia ago. Defeating it won't be easy, but if you stick it with enough lead, it'll go down like anything else. But be careful. Prototype leader piloting it can awaken, just like a Saga and Solar. I see. The only way we're going to down that monstrosity is if we get the entire combined fleet and the Allied Pack fleet to hit it with everything they've got. Chigara, how soon can you begin to restore control of Fontana's ships? I can begin any time, Captain. No, wait! Look, if Chigara enters the mine stream, then you will assure your own destruction. The prototype leader will transfer her consciousness into Chigara's body and use it to perpetrate the assassination of Admiral Grey and every single Alliance military leader gathered at the victory celebration. Captain, we must consider the risk. Prepare to enter the mine stream, Chigara. Captain! Commander, if we don't get to Fontana's ships in the battle right now, then the entire combined fleet will be lost. Does the prototype have any other ideas on how to win? Come on, there's got to be some way we can win without Fontana. The Sunrider shook as it took more hits. In front of them, the Nightmare Ascendant's fly drones danced around the Alliance cruisers as they carved one into pieces. An entire carrier burst into a massive fireball, sending a piece of its launch platform flying through the gut of a cruiser, and the smaller vessel listed sideways as its fuel tanks lit on fire, burning its crew alive. We have to trust Chigara. I know she's not a prototype, she's one of us. She's our trump card, she can turn this battle around in our favour. That's exactly what the prototypes want you to do. We have to continue without Fontana's fleet and face certain defeat. Captain, the prisoner's words do have merit. The chief engineer of this vessel could have easily embedded the logic bomb which shut down our ship. Further, if she is indeed a prototype spy, then it stands to reason she could be mind-controlled, as is suggested by our prisoner. A sound course of action may be to permit her to enter the mine stream to undo the prototype's control over the Alliance fleet for now, and then detain her after the danger has passed. Burning embers glowed inside the other shield's eyes. She isn't a spy! There's no way she would be working for the enemy! It's just like when... I'll damn the entire galaxy if it means protecting Chigara. She was there for me when... well, you weren't. Sweat dripped down Shield's face as he heard his past self rave in madness. He closed his eyes. Yes, this was me of the past. A fool, a dangerous fool. Captain, you have become emotionally compromised. You are failing to appraise the situation rationally. I cannot permit you to lead the ship when you are basing your decisions solely on your... Enough! I will not allow you to slander our chief engineer. Commander, I think I once called you my friend. Oh shit, he's completely lost his mind. Just what kind of lies has Chigara been feeding him lately? For all intents and purposes, he's fallen completely under the prototype's control. There's no hope of convincing him now. Just then he heard Ikari's voice in the comm. Asaga's gone berserk! Captain, what are we supposed to do? Are we actually going to shoot her down? Shit, I almost forgot about this event. During the battle, Asaga goes berserk from awakening too many times. Tries to kill Chigara. But could we use that to our advantage? No, we can't use it to take Chigara out of the Liberty. Asaga's attempt ultimately fails when Claude stops her using the Bianca's grav gun. But Ikari could use this opportunity to... Of course! This is our chance to disable the Liberty while everyone's distracted by Asaga. I know what's going on. What's wrong with Asaga? Temporary insanity due to mental exhaustion. She's been utilizing too many awakenings during the battle. At this rate, she's going to kill Chigara in a fit of jealous paranoia. Put me through to the Blackjack. Asaga, what's wrong? I'm sorry, Captain, but you're being tricked. I'm doing this for the good of the ship. Chigara is the traitor. The Blackjack's on an intercept course for the Liberty. What? Even you? Asaga, listen to me. I don't know what you've been told, but that's only a filthy lie spread by the prototypes to get us to doubt each other. Defend the Liberty. Chigara's the only hope we have to win this battle. No, I can sense it. Chigara's definitely... I've got to stop her. The Blackjack has cut the channel. Shit. Move the Phoenix to intercept the Blackjack. I'm in charge here. But he's got a point. Asaga's coming in fast. Do what he says. Copy. Captain, I have a lock on the Blackjack's cockpit. I shall take full responsibility. Every single pair of eyes on the bridge focused on the Blackjack as it sped towards the Liberty. This is it. The decisive moment. I can only maintain a lock for 4 more seconds. 2. Pull the Hiya! Just like in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s timeline, the Bianca maneuvered in front of the Liberty at the very last second and overloaded its gravity gun, forming a massive gravity eddy. Caught in the current, the Blackjack spun past the Bianca, almost clipping its shoulder guns against her. Under the massive strain of moving the Blackjack, the Bianca's gravity gun exploded in a blossom of blue sparks, causing the entire rider to lose power, and it rotated powerlessly through space. Ah! What the... Claude! Claude, are you alright?
Yes, Captain. I'm not sure about the Bianca, though.
What are you doing?
Now, you listen to me, and listen to me good. There isn't a girl on board the Sunrider who likes how things turned out. Especially me, who's loved the Captain more than any of you. Just how do you think poor Claude feels, completely forgotten by everyone?
I remember this entire speech. Poor Claude getting gunned down like... Oh, well, I guess she'll be fine. Just then, an entirely different voice interrupted Claude's big moment. Sorry, Claude, but I'm going to have to cut the chase here. The Phoenix decloaked, now seconds away from reaching the Liberty. What? Phoenix, what are you... Sorry about this, Cap, but I decided to side with your other version. Now let's get the future saved. The Phoenix swooped down with its katana drawn, surgically removing the Liberty's ECM dishes, but leaving all of its other essential systems untouched. What? End of the line, Chigara. Or should I say prototype? Ah! You... The other Shields grabbed Shields by the scruff of the throat and lifted him off his feet. You planned this! For a moment they faced off against each other in front of the bridge, their backs illuminated by the giant main monitor. Man to man. Shields gritted his teeth. It's over! Without the ECM dishes, Chigara won't be able to enter the mind stream. Now, look at Chigara. This is the reality. What? Chigara's menacing laughter echoed through the bridge. You did well, Shields. I don't know how you managed to loop through time to get here. I'm guessing that the Wanderer had something to do with this. The Nightmare Ascendant appeared beside the Liberty. Captain, new transmission coming from the Ascendant. Put it on screen. Huh. It's still too late. Thanks to your chief shutting down your ship, you couldn't get the warning sent to Fontana's fleet in time. You'll all be dead by my hands long before his ships arrive to save you. With both Chigara and Alice now simultaneously on screen, everyone could see that their lips were synced as they spoke together, their voices intermixed, and the other Shields looked on in horrified disbelief. Well, I think that's a good point to end this part, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next.